What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the guest. And I am mobile, and we are live on the ground, a Black-owned school. And I'm just waiting for the guests to come in, and we'll get started here in a little bit. I'm gonna just make sure everything is good. I think my mic is good, but I want to make sure for sure, and make sure. Let me just make sure things are live here real quick. Let's see. Let's check on YouTube real quick. Get started here in a little bit. I'm gonna just make sure everything is good. I think my mic is good, but I want to make sure that just make sure things are live here real quick. Check on how everything is looking on Facebook. We got Ronald in the house. We're gonna bring him in a sec. Bring him in now. We got Ronald in the house. You can hear me?
Yes.
Let's see here. Let's see. I want to thank everybody for coming once again. Let me see here. All right, let me try this. I know the audio is working, so I just want to make sure we good on Facebook. Where you at, Holmes? There you go. Yo, what's going on?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, good, cool. I can hear you. Cool. I'm waiting in on making sure everything is good on my Facebook page live here. There we go. Let me just check that. Make sure we good on. All right, good, cool. I can hear good. Cool. I'm waiting on. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm mobile.
I can barely hear you. You're breaking up.
So everything is looking good.
Yeah,
breaking up.
It's like as you move the camera, you're breaking up. There we go.
All right. We good now? Are we good?
Yes,
we good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. And maybe so before we get started, let's get the little intro, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, you're rocking with the best thoughts of the week.
You're listening to Thoughts of the Week.
All right, hold on. All right, my man's mic is back on. Ronald, what's
How
up?
you doing? How you doing? How's everybody doing right now?
Pretty good, man. Coming in. Appreciate you coming in for the show. Most definitely. Again, we got Ronald Osbourne and Tina. Getting on Tina, but we're gonna continue on with the show. All right. So Ronald, just tell everybody who you are.
I can't hear you.
All right. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Check 1 2.
Yes. Yes,
Everything's
sir.
good. All right. Cool. Tell everybody we got Tina coming in, so I'm gonna bring her in a second. But tell everybody what you do, man. Where you from?
Well, I'm from
What you do?
Dallas, Texas, of course, and I own my own streaming service. My streaming service comes with 25 TV channels, a radio station, and an online e-commerce that's all geared towards people of color, people that are looking to grow their business and different things like that. Hello?
Okay. Cool. That's what's up.
Yes,
We
yes.
got
Hi.
Tina. Tina, can you hear me?
How are you doing? Hi.
Pretty good. Can you hear me, Ronald?
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear him. Can you hear him?
I can't hear nobody.
Yeah, we can hear. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So Tina, while Ronald's getting his mic together, or his speakers probably. That's who you are, where you from,
So
and
my
what
name
you
is
do.
Tina Brinkley-Potts. I'm from Delaware. I currently live right outside of Philly. And I'm a business strategist and an online marketing trainer. I've been doing this for over 10 years. And I really help people like we're thriving right now because most people are learning to convert their business online, regardless of what kind of business they have. And that's what we help them do. So we're getting all kinds of calls. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you right.
Say that again because I couldn't hear you.
Okay, I'm back.
Hey, Ronald. Yeah, we can hear you, Ronald. Oh, I can hear you.
Y'all can hear me? Okay, I'm sorry.
I can
Tina,
hear.
can you hear
Yep.
me?
I can't see them, but I can hear.
Oh, my
Okay.
video is starting to come in.
Gotcha. Yeah, you're not on
Okay.
camera yet, Ron. Okay. Yeah, so there'll be a little bit of delay from time to time. I think because of the distances, some delay, but it's still good. So again, Ronald, just while you're working on, you
Oh,
can
okay.
break down again what you do,
So
man, and where
I'm
you
from
from.
Dallas, Texas, and I own my own streaming network. It comes with 25 TV channels, a radio station, and an online marketplace for people of color, the urban community. It's pretty much for everyone that's looking to have a voice, having to pretty much get their brand out there, get their self out there, get their voice out there.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah, your camera's in. So yeah, be ladies and gentlemen who's watching the show. There's going to be a little delay. Those who will be listening to the replay, you won't notice a thing. So how's for the both of y'all? How has the I know Tina, you said things are thriving, but
Mhm.
how has the coronavirus affected one of y'all as far as business wise? Go
I
ahead,
couldn't hear
Tina,
the
for you.
last part of your question. I know you were talking about during this time, and then what did you say?
The coronavirus has the
Well, we
coronavirus
had to
affected your
change a
business?
lot. Like this year was the first year I was going back out on the speaker circuit and I had like 46 different speaking engagements booked. And in 1 week, I literally watched all of them cancel. So that part of my business was definitely drastically affected because I had so many speaking
Man,
engagements that were booked. But since I do
wow,
online courses and I can coach
wow.
anybody from anywhere, then that part of my business really wasn't affected. It actually is thriving now because most people are trying to figure out how to pivot what they do. So that's why it's working.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. How
No,
about you, Ronald? How about
it
how's the
affected me
coronavirus affected you, man?
tremendously great. It caused me to actually be able to reach out to a lot of people that deemed unreachable during normal times. I was able to reach out to a lot of people. Business pretty much increased because I was able to be able to talk to those people, let them know what's going on with a new product on the market, and be able to really streamline a lot of things. The thing that it kind of affected was, since we do TV production, a lot of shows and content have to kind of be on hold. But as far as like, we've had a stream of podcasters, people pretty much having their own products and wanting to do their own shows and different things like that now because they have time. So business has really picked up, and now they're starting to see the value in what I bring as an online service.
Cool. How can people get connected
They can
with
just go
your
to the
service?
kickbackmedia.com. You will see everything all there and above, all one word.
Okay. All right, cool. Kickbackmedia.com.
Don't forget the part.
All right.
You'll be all right. Yes, sir. Yes,
Kickbackmedia.com. I
sir.
got you. Got you. All right, cool. And real quick, Tina, how can people
Right to
reach
my
you, by the
website,
How is
way? Any
tinabrinkleypots.com. It's
social
just
media
my
or website or anything?
name.com.
All right. That's Ley. Yeah. All right, cool. See, we can get these quick. All righty.
hello?
All right, so what got you guys started into? Yeah, can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes.
How about you, Ronald? We can hear you, Ronald, but I don't know if you're hearing us, bro.
I don't think you hear. Can you hear?
I can't hear nothing.
Okay.
Can
I
you
can't hear
hear us?
nothing.
I don't know if he's watching. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
We can hear you. We can hear you, but you can't hear us. Okay.
Can, can y'all hear me
All
now?
right. Check this out.
Hello?
Matter of fact, I'm gonna do this for you.
It keep going.
Yep.
Y'all can hear me now?
I can hear him. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what's going on, but it's just like going in and out. It's going in and out of my end.
Okay.
I'm so
Hold on. I'm gonna send you a chat, man, if you can hear me real quick. Hey, that's part of the price of going live sometimes, man, but it's all good.
okay. I should be good. Calls keep coming in somehow and bypassing the do not disturb somehow. So I apologize. That's what's going
Okay.
on. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got you. All right, no problem. So you said, hold on.
I can hear you
So you can
perfectly
hear us now.
fine.
You
And Miss
good?
Tina, I can hear you also.
Awesome. Great. I can hear you now too. It's flowing really good. Yep.
All right, cool. All right, so what made got you guys started into entrepreneurship from the beginning?
For me, go ahead.
Ron, you go ahead.
For me, it
Go
was
ahead, Tina.
the lack of
Go ahead.
the lack of actually having resources available for myself or for others that look like me. So it was just that feeling of lack of resources and wanting to like know what's out there and then know what's needed. I'm a natural problem solver, so that's what you'll see kind of within my network, just really looking to solve issues. So that's what it was for me.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. For me, it was really about
Cool. And you, Tina?
I was taking care of my relatives, and so that traditional 9 to 5 just didn't work for me. So I had, a good job and, high paying jobs, but it just I couldn't do it. I needed to be able to take care of my family, and I was taking care of my mom who was getting sick all the time, having strokes, heart attacks. So I needed another way. So that's how I got into it.
Mm. Wow. Okay. So with your business, and this is for both of you guys, and I'll let you get this one first. What if you do, what are you struggling with right now in your business in particular? And
If
the same thing for
anything,
Tina,
it
but
is just we're swamped. I have so many email requests that I haven't answered, which we have more people coming on board and stuff for that now, because technically I wasn't planning on this part of my business, even though that's what I was used to doing. Because again, I was planning to be on the road. Like, this was my year of freedom. All I was going to do was speak and travel. And then when that changed, the phone started
gotcha.
ringing and the emails started coming in like, okay, you've been telling me this forever and now it's here. And now I got to figure out something new. So,
Yeah, for me, it was more
I
I'm
hear you.
sorry. For me, it's more of I guess time. It's just never enough time to kind of get things done in the day's work, but you just got to learn how to, learn to have that balance. I think but now when you having so much time and things having to switch up, you're looking to like kind of change your business model and put so much effort, and you kind of playing a catch up game so much. So it's like putting in that time and not feeling like there's enough time in a day to pretty much catch up. When really you're there, it's just changing. It just changed your business model, especially during these times.
Right. So is it safe to say, so you guys are actually
Yes.
solo
no, not
entrepreneurs then,
me. No,
correct?
Yes.
no. Yeah,
Or you do?
I have people that have worked for
Okay.
me for 10 years. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, so I do have all kinds of like
Okay.
assistants, VAs, but everybody was already working from home, so it still works.
Mm. I have a team that helps me on
Okay.
projects and different
Okay.
things like that. But as far as like the logistics or emails and stuff, I have an assistant now, but majority is like still solo. But as far, yeah, that's pretty much where it's at.
Okay. So you handle just some you handle most of the work, and you have
Yes,
some
sir.
people helping you out.
Yes, sir.
Ron. Okay. So with that being said, since both of you have kind of a little team, how do you consider yourself as far as what type of boss are you? Are you a micromanager, or do you let your people get free reign and they able to take care of business for you?
Okay, Ronald, you want to go first?
I am. I'm a person like I give you let's get the project done, and then I'll let you go about your day and go about your time. And I don't micromanage. I don't like to micromanage so much because I don't like micromanaging. And then I just feel like if you're able to do that job, then I should be able to tell you, and we should be able to go. Now we can always come back and have our meetings and have our conversations weekly or bi-weekly, however you want to do it. But I absolutely hate micromanage. If I got to micromanage, I might as well do it myself.
Yep. So for me, I'm a Virgo though. I'm a
Okay.
Virgo,
And
so
you, Tina?
I like it my way. I'm just gonna say that up front. But but I work with people who
Uh-huh.
love what they do. Like, you can't work for me just because you want a paycheck. You gotta love it. You gotta, like, if I'm expecting you to pick up a phone every day, you gotta love to pick up the phone. If you don't, then we won't get along, because I'm hiring you to do a specific aspect of my business. And if you don't really love it and you treat it like it's work, then it'll never
Okay.
work out. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's so
Hmm.
I don't have to micromanage, because I
Okay.
make sure that in each one of those positions I'm putting people who want to do it. And that took a
Mm-hmm.
lot of time and effort to learn that, because I hired people that didn't work out because they just wanted the check. People go, oh
Okay.
yeah, I want the job, right? But then at the end of the day, like he was saying, you're hiring somebody to do something, and then it doesn't seem to get done the way you want it done. And I learned a long time ago, nope, I need you to love it. If you don't love getting on the phone, then you can't be a person that is responsible for phones for us. If
True.
So that's how I work. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 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 Cool. Cool. So when it comes to your businesses, your respective businesses, do you consider yourself, or do you look at marketing and sales, or do you look at promotion and branding?
I didn't hear nothing you said.
I only heard marketing and sales. That was the only
I
part of
heard
his question
marketing
I
and
heard.
sales, and that was it.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that's better.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So when it comes to your business, do you look at your entrepreneurial business as in the sense of
Did it again.
marketing and sales? Do you look at it from the sense of promotion and
So,
branding?
Mm,
are you asking? Are we focused on marketing and sales compared to promotion and branding? Which one is more important? Oh, okay.
Correct. Correct.
You can go, Miss Tina. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
uh, I am a sales kind of girl. So I am a certified partner with Keep, that used to be Infusionsoft. Um, which is a sales and automation software. I believe in the touches. I believe that you have to be out there fully present. Um, Branding, not so much, because I've seen the ugliest pages make millions of dollars. So and branding is almost in the eyes of the beholder. Now, if we were talking about branding as far as being very clear on your message and standing for something, then I would be all for branding. But sales and automation is where it's at. It's been where it's at, and that's one of the ways we're able to 10x a business really fast. Because once we figure out what you're good at and how it's working, then we just take and amplify it with marketing and automation technology, and then that makes it catapult. And most people that are focusing on branding, what happens for them is you will notice that they will keep rebranding every year, every 2 years, every whatever. And what happens there is that the amount is not consistent, the money is not consistent, and it doesn't seem to grow, simply because they're focused on the look instead of the functionality. So I am a function kind of girl completely.
I am actually I'm right in the middle. Believe it or not, I am right in the middle. I'm more of I'm a brand type of dude, like type of business, but I focus on automation. So the reason why I say it like that is because when I look at brands, I look at like you can give a regular cup of coffee for $2, but you put a Starbucks logo in front of it, and you can sell it for 7. So it's like I look at doing my business more of a brand due to the fact of the matter is I know that in the long run it can stand on something stronger for me. It can the foundation of it will be strong. I don't necessarily look into rebranding. I understand exactly what you were saying, but I focus on how can I basically create a brand that speaks for itself, and I don't have to go and sell it all the time. It's going to sell itself. But I also look on the automation side of it. How can I brand it to where it's automatic, to where it pretty much has to market it itself? Also, I'm at that end.
You know what, Ronald? I can kind of I can understand what you say. So, like, for instance, I have a client of mine who will look at stuff and make it pretty for me because I just don't, that's not my thought process, right? But I do want to play devil's advocate a little bit. So when you think about, especially for our people right now, and this is why I wanted to say this, when you think about companies like Starbucks who slap their logo on it and they're changing a cup of coffee to be $3 or $4 versus $1 if you bought it from somewhere else, but
Mhm.
most of those companies are well funded. And so they can take time for the branding to take over. Most of my people need it now. They need the money to start coming now. So can they wait for the branding to happen? Or you know what I mean? And so,
Can
and
I
I
can I
hear
say
what
something?
you're saying though, because you talked about
Ooh,
automation. But I just think, let me play devil's advocate a little bit.
go ahead. I'm waiting.
No, no, go. Yeah, it's your
Okay.
turn.
Let
Go
me
ahead,
play
keep going.
double devil's advocate then. The way you build something, it can fall. If you're not built on a foundation, if you was built off of trying to get something so fast, and you forget about other things within your business that it's not necessarily there's brands that fall. Fubu, that we've seen in our communities that you have noticed, like in our communities, we're so caught up in the instantaneous like funding, instantaneous, instant famous brands and $1 million bank account overnight that we don't realize that we're trying to focus on those sales, 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 sales. We're not realizing that okay, once it gets there, am I able to sustain that spot and grow from it again? We like look at certain things. I work with so many different companies that they start off and they'll just slap a sticker on something and say, okay, I'm a company, I'm a brand, and they're not realizing you look just like the next person. What makes you stand out? What
Mhm,
makes you build? What makes you grow? And I
mhm,
think what happens is within our community that we want instant famous products and we want fame, and then we'll make something and want it to be growing because we saw somebody else, have it and grow, but we're not realizing that we need to be able to grow it and then actually take the money, fund it somewhere else, and grow again on something else. We see so many different companies like the Starbucks. A person can pretty much make that coffee all day, every day, but if they don't have no brand on, they're just a cheap cup of coffee at a spot. But put a brand on it, and you're able to grow and name it something. Have a name. Little small things can make a brand. Little small things.
okay. I
So
mean, I guess I definitely hear you. I mean, I definitely hear what you said, and I like your I like the story you put behind it. Um, but it was almost like that was still in the branding. You know what I mean? Because I'm talking about like your product, and your service, whatever it is. Once you figure out what that is, and then you put automation to it, it isn't really about the branding. It is about how it functions, how it performs, how,
it's
does it
mm-hmm.
work? Does it get results? So I think maybe you and I might just have like a lingo difference because some of the stuff you put in branding, I don't put in branding. Um,
Oh, okay. And
yeah,
I
so I
think what
think
it
that's
is,
probably what's the difference. Yep.
and the fact is that I think the question kind of goes back to what are we looking at now,
Okay.
so to
Mm-hmm.
say. And so I know deep down inside we both pretty much are crossing within those two realms. It's like all about what we're looking at now. So you're looking at sales and automation. I'm looking at
Right,
branding
right.
and what was the other part? Forgot. But I'm kind of like the crossbreed. So it's all about where we're at now. Promotion. So
Promotion.
I'm definitely not in the promotion part, to be honest with you, because I'm looking at the branding and the automation part. So I'm kind of taking a piece from each one and not focusing on one side. I'm a
Yeah, I'm
Gemini, so if you want to use Virgo, I'm a Gemini. So that's the reason
yeah.
why.
Good. I am a Virgo, and I lead generation is what I want to know. I want to
Yes,
know, yeah, you might have a beautiful website, but does it convert? Is somebody clicking a buy button? Like those are the questions I'm asking. So I'm like, it can be
mm,
pretty all day long, but if it isn't getting you money, then it is just a glorified business card. That's
yes,
how I
sir. Yes,
look at it. And
yep,
yeah, so
yep, yes, ma'am. That is absolutely true. And I go ahead. I'm sorry.
So wouldn't that be part of
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Wouldn't that be part of branding though? If somebody's going to
No,
click that button?
that's
No,
sales. That's
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 sales.
that's sales generating activities. That's not
Yeah,
branding at all. Like,
and
you know,
yeah.
I mean, think about it though. You can go
Okay.
look and you will see some beautiful websites out there. But
Hmm.
Well,
most of the time
when I,
behind the scenes, a lot of those people come to me and I go, okay, so
mhm.
how do people buy? Sometimes I even ask, so what are you selling? Sometimes they are not clear on what they're selling, but they have this beautiful presence online. And a lot of times you can even go look at their social media, and a lot of people could be
Oh
clicking
man.
like. They could be
Hmm.
Okay.
clicking like, they could be commenting.
Hmm.
And my first question is, okay, so what is it working? Is
What's your
somebody
sales like?
buying? Yeah,
Yes,
what's your
ma'am.
sales like? How many people are on your email list? Like, I'm asking all of these questions
Right,
and they
right.
can't answer. So that's about the functionality
God
more than
dog,
it is
man.
about the
Mm.
look. So the
Push
look
this
is
Okay.
button
good.
for? I got another call, man.
Okay. Okay.
God, I
You
don't know
still there?
how is it doing this.
We can hear you though still, so that's good.
God, dog,
Were you on?
man.
Yeah, yeah. I guess he's going to temporarily cut them off for a
God,
few and
dog,
then bring them
man.
back in.
Like, God,
I don't
You
think
still
he
there,
can
Ronald?
hear us, but we
potential
can hear us.
scams.
We can hear him.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. All right. Let me see here.
Hello.
You there, Ronald?
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Was getting something good going on. You there, Ronald? Yeah,
Man, I might have to
we
go
can hear you.
to. Okay, let me try to get going on my computer. Hmm. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, y'all was getting heated up there.
Great conversation. It was good.
That's that.
Yes, indeed. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Are you there, man?
Maybe he can't hear us, but we can hear him.
Hello. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's.
Yeah, we here.
Um, can let me try to add who I am.
And Tina, make sure y'all let me know if
Okay.
you gotta go. Let me know, okay? I don't want to hold y'all up for
All
anything.
right, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so
Hold on. Okay, yeah, we
Looks
can
like
hear
he's
you.
gone now.
Hold on.
Okay.
He
He's
changed
back.
his. You switched up. Yeah, I think he switched from his phone to laptop. I think. Are you there, Ron? Ron, what's going on? Can't hear you. No audio. Send him a message real quick. So Tina,
Sure.
while we trying to get Ronald together, what this about the economy
Mm-hmm.
crashing has been for a while, and now I think you might have hit on it a little bit earlier. I thought I heard you mention something like that, or filing for unemployment. How do you see the economy, the outlook of the economy, and do you see it getting any better as far as from our
Um,
perspective?
I see some big problems coming down for Black folks. Is really what I see. Um, because because
Okay.
while I know a lot of states are
How so?
rushing to open, and I know we definitely people want it, but then at the same time it's going to probably most likely cause increased cases, and so it's just going to keep looping back. The funny thing though is that even with the states reopening, a lot of the companies that closed will not reopen. And so, like, the idea that all of these people who had a job are
Okay.
just going to have a job again, that probably isn't true. One of the things I was speaking about before this happened, and this is why I had so many speaking engagements, because I was teaching people how to build your business even when life happens. And um, I think that the idea that most people are waiting for that normal to return, it is going to be a long time coming, a long time coming. And most larger organizations kind of know that, because of course they're spending money to have people go analyze and do statistics and this, that, and the other. And so when you look at what they're doing, they're all pivoting to 100% online, because to keep trying to wait until the government decides when somebody can open, when they can't, this, that, and the other. So think of all of those jobs that are going to be lost. Think of the jobs that were going to be lost anyway. Like, I'm into automation, and when you think of artificial intelligence and AI, like, human resources, customer service, retail. A lot of those jobs are traditionally held by Black women. And so all of those jobs are dwindling because of automation, artificial intelligence, and things like that. So when you think about it, we had an issue that was coming anyway. This just sped it up.
Okay. Okay. Real quick, give a brief description on what automation is, in case
So,
people don't know.
pretty much anything that you do, we can automate it. So, for instance, right now, let's say there's a t-shirt vendor that you see every week out in your neighborhood, and he goes and he buys t-shirts, he takes them back to his facility, and then he personalizes them and makes them his own. Well, right now I can do the same thing without putting any money out by just using automation. I can get to a facility, or to a facility that's going to do the work, and I don't have to touch it. That's just like with email. Like, I can program emails so that they're going to go out on a sequence without me having to touch it. I'm going to program it once and it's going to always work. That's what automation is. Artificial intelligence, uh, you know, uh, you have what everybody call bots now, but now bots are so intuitive, and
Hmm.
the developers have done such a good job that there are times where you can't tell the human voice from a bot voice. So now, even customer service, there's going to be times where you're not even going to know
Yep.
that you're
Yeah.
talking to a bot instead of, and that bot can search a huge database of information in seconds to answer your question. So you're watching human capital
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
some areas won't be
Wow.
needed
Okay.
as much as it was before. And customer service is one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think some of these businesses didn't take to to connect with social media? Because you mentioned something about businesses have there's some businesses that already gone out of business, and I have to do with they're not connecting with e-commerce quick enough. So why do you think
Because
that
we've
is?
concentrated, like, sometimes we only tell part of the story. right? Or we idolize celebrities and we look at their version and then try to mimic their version. When you think about it, celebrities, if they have millions of followers, they just can get out and speak on their platform. And my gosh, if you have millions of followers, somebody surely should buy. But if you're not starting out with millions of followers and you have 10 followers, you have to be a little bit more specific so that you can continue to carry on the conversation. And so you have to know how to turn that presence, that visibility into a lead so that you can now have a personal conversation with them. And most of the time, we want to emulate things that we see and we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Like right now, we actually have celebrities that come to us and they say, hey, listen, I know I should be making more money. Because remember, celebrities stop wanting just to be paid by their record label um, or by their sports team or whatever. They now say, okay, well, wait a minute, since this is my brand and this is my following, then why can't I earn more money than what I'm earning? So now they're actually learning lead generation. Have you seen a lot of celebrities now give out a cell phone number when they're on Instagram? This is why, because they're now learning lead generation so that they can control more of their money. So it's again, like, it's almost like sometimes putting the cart before the horse, because we've learned and we see things that we like. We see celebrity presence, we see all of that, but then you got to remember there's always a team behind that celebrity. There's always like when you see that shot of that celebrity on the red carpet, what you don't see is all of the people who are just outside of the frame to make sure that person doesn't have a piece of hair out of place, to make sure that they don't say the wrong things, or that other people are not getting in where they shouldn't be able to get in. Like we take snapshots, and so we see that one little piece but forget that there's all those things that are happening behind the scenes. And that's what we're bringing more to the forefront is, okay, I know that's what you want, but let's start with what you got. How do we maximize what you have right now so that you can get to where you want to go? That's a different way of thinking.
Gotcha. Can y'all see the messages when people are sending messages from YouTube or Facebook?
I see somebody saying, what should we do to rebuild? If I missed any of the other ones, I didn't see it, but I do see that.
Yeah.
Do you want me to answer that question?
Sure.
Take
a
one of
stab
the
at it.
things I think we should do to rebuild is I would want you to look at what you have right now. What intellectual property do you have? What can you do better than most people? Like, what can you do that you can do with your hands tied behind your back? And I would look for a way to start monetizing that. I don't care what it is, if it's baking pies, if it's knitting, sewing, or maybe you just came out of a high powered job and you know a lot about a certain topic, then develop a course on that topic. Or find a way that you can sell one to many, or you can sell what you do online yourself. That's what I would do. I would start from what I already have, because you already have something.
We talking about rebuilding the community, correct?
Gotcha.
Well, her question said, what would you do to rebuild? So I that's how I took it. I'm not sure how she meant it.
I guess I'll take it as like the community. I think being self-sufficient. I feel that we like Miss Tina said, go out and go do something. If it's baking pies, if it's having courses, but I think it's able to do something to where you can do it, but also attach to someone else and actually help them out or help someone else out. I think we tend to kind of do the same business, quote unquote. We see a lot of the same makeup or cosmetics or t-shirts and different things like that. Everyone wants to bake, but nobody wants to like kind of be the person that provides all the ingredients or the commercial kitchen and different things like that. So in order for us to rebuild, I think we can step outside and kind of start helping one another, do more, be more
what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like not cross branding, but be more effective and efficient with what we're doing. And as far as like as your talent, I think it's just starting. Like you said, Ms. Potts, just start something. Like there are so many $1 million ideas in people's heads, but they look for validation in all the wrong places, so they don't start them. So just getting out there and doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ronald,
yeah.
I like what you just said, and I just want to
Right,
put a
right.
little plug in right now for African American business owners who are female business owners. Right now, I'm part of a project called the Melanin Owned Business Launchpad, and what that does is it helps women actually take their business and convert it to a six-figure business. All of these things that I'm teaching them, but we're doing it for them for free,
Mm,
and we're fundraising. This is being done through a nonprofit. So all the African American female
okay.
business owner has to do is apply, and if she's accepted, she gets about $50,000 worth of products and services for free.
I'm gonna have to talk to you. I'm gonna have to
No,
talk to you.
but yeah, no, it was good. Thank you for saying what you said, because I totally forgot about it, which is bad on my part. But I'm glad you said something, because it made me think about that. And I'm sorry, guys, you guys have been excluded from this one. But let me tell you why we
Mm.
decided to do African American women. If you think about it, women, African American women
Yeah.
have been holding down our society forever. That's number one. Number two, an African American woman, when you tell her a right path, she will go do it. They told African American women to go to school, and now she's the most highest educated in the country, right? But she's not getting the same dollars that any of her counterparts is getting. So we want to help make all of that effort that she put into herself
Hmm.
worth it. And the other thing we know is with African American females is when they earn more, they help their community more. So if we take and we help 100 women, we're actually going for 200 now that this pandemic happened, but let me just stick with 100. If we help 100 women add six figures to their bottom line, that is $10 million that we've added into Black families around the country. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's how that's one of the ways that I'm giving back from what I know, because I know that a lot of people would love, I know a lot of women would love to be able to have a business that she know that is going to be sound, that she really does understand sales and marketing, that it is now positioned to grow long after they're finished with our program. So
I'm gonna say something on this. I realized
Mm.
coming into like
Great.
entrepreneurship, I have a degree in business management, so I was, I understand logistics and all the things that go in behind it. But there's a lot of people that become entrepreneurs simply because they love something, and they don't know the back end of a lot of things.
mhm.
And so education kind of plagues
Mm.
um, success. I
Right.
realize that some people they sometimes the internet is out there, but you don't know what to look up.
Yeah.
And after 5 pages, you like, you know what? Let me just click something because I don't want to hold up and I'm
Mm.
taking too much time. So even research and finding out things like what you have, or it goes unseen because it's not the top five in Google. So if
Mhm.
it's not there, or they can look it up, but they don't know what to
Mm.
put in. It's just
Yeah.
like, man, it's education. And I realized
Right.
that with my network. I was like, you know what? So that's why I went and created a whole education channel. And now I'm having like various people come out and educate the community on what's going on out there and what's available. And they can go out and really get it right then and there, able to access it. So I think deep down inside, we have everything in place. It's just all about knowing where to find it and knowing where to
Yep.
go.
And
So,
then knowing how to apply it, because
ooh,
that's one of the things we did in our country. We've made everything about education, and like most people say, knowledge is power. It isn't. It is the applied knowledge is power. You
yes.
got to apply it. You have
Right.
to
Right.
apply it.
Right.
And so
That's
there
a
are a
big
lot of
apply, though. A lot of
Right.
people don't like to apply.
Yeah, because and there are a lot of people who have a lot of letters
Yeah,
behind their
yeah,
name that
yeah.
are struggling right now because people have made it all about that education and never told them how to use it practically. And
Ooh,
it is the practical application of knowledge that is going to get you somewhere. So it's
Right.
in the practice. We got to start practicing it all. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Ron, earlier I had asked Tina about the outlook of the economy, and I wanted to get your take on it because a lot of that is going to be a coming crash. And so, what is your outlook on it? I think she mentioned a little bit about it was going to affect Black people a lot. What do you think?
as far as like the economy crashing,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually and believe me or not, I'm a person.
Right.
I'm very optimistic. I feel like it's probably one of the best things in the world. I feel like as African Americans, we kind of look for other races to pretty much help us get out of the hole. And now this coronavirus and other things have caused us to kind of look into each other's and look into our own communities to actually start utilizing what's going on out there. So we're not looking to go into the big Walmarts and stuff like that, but actually go into this person selling all the fruits and vegetables in our backyard, or someone being self-sufficient and doing greenhouses and different things like that. I think that as African Americans, we kind of always look for other people to help, and then we always have the answers in our backyard. And so now, even doing this podcast and different things like that, having this information spread, now we have time to sit, we got time to tell it. And I think with the economy crashing, now we can kind of start
Yep.
rebuilding it to our perspective in a way. Because the economy, to be honest with you, hasn't really been helping us as a whole uh, these past couple of years. Yes, I mean, there's people that use stocks and go do real estate and different things like that, but how much have we honestly collected over those years? So with something crashing that's been holding us down, is it really such a bad thing? Now we can build it up to actually
Right.
have access to those monies, because now you're starting to learn about those programs like the $50,000. I'm learning about more um, private investors that want to invest into smaller companies that like we have, and learning about more about podcasts that's trying to get out the word. And I'm learning more about small things. Those things are starting to come up that's affecting, and now it's like it's in your face. What you gonna do about it now? Now we can really build. Now we can really have those conversations. So that's where I'm at.
Yep. Got you.
I'm
I
gonna
hear
go get
you.
my
I hear
charger
you.
for my computer died. Give me 1 second.
How important is management? All right. Can
I
you
can
hear me, Tina?
I can still hear you now. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just making sure because it was telling me my mic. I was joggling my mic a little bit. So
Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry.
how in
I owe you a
hey,
whole
no
other
problem, no problem.
podcast. I
How
owe
important
you.
is money management?
Very important.
Yo, it's all good, man.
Very
Can you hear
important.
me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Money management is actually very important. For the fact is, when you do the research, African Americans, and I love speaking about African Americans. I'm sorry, that's what I'm gonna talk about. So, because that's what hones into me. But uh,
Hey, it's all good.
uh, when you look at the numbers and say African Americans are the number one consumer in the world, that means that you have money, but it's all about where you placing that money. So money management and knowing it's not always. I personally feel like it's not about just saving. It's about when you spend, where you spending it. Where is that money going?
Well, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a loaded conversation right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because first and foremost, we also got to you know, there are basic accounting terminology that we should learn so we can understand. One of the things I know for me, because I didn't come up in what I have now, like understanding what's truly an asset. Cash is not the only asset. And so when we give cash for something, are we giving cash for expenses or cash for more assets? Or does our
Mhm.
cash turn into other assets? And the answer to that in the Black community is no. And because, there are studies that say that our wealth is going backwards. While everybody else's is creeping up, ours is going backwards. And so there is a big conversation that should happen there. And yeah, that's there. Yeah, there's a big conversation that should happen there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very loaded conversation right there.
Sure
Gotcha,
is.
gotcha.
Sure is.
I don't even want to. I don't want
Yep.
to jump into it.
Let's leave that alone. Yep. That is a big conversation. Yeah.
Gotcha. What do you guys use to manage your time?
I think you said something about time management. Did you?
Mhm.
I am big in chunking time.
What do you use
I
to
chunk
manage your time?
time. How I mean,
Calendars, to-do
I use to-do lists,
lists.
but mostly I chunk time. So I, take and I spread my time around. If I know I got 4 projects, I allot certain amounts of time to each of those projects instead of trying to do one thing until it's done.
Mhm.
I am more about chunking time, because when I learn to chunk time and I learn to focus completely on that one thing, typically get it done faster and I'm able to do more things. But yeah, so that's how I do it. I spread my time around.
For me, I tend to I do the same thing as you.
Got it, Ronald.
But I've learned, and this is what's crazy. When I first started off, I'm learning when it comes to time management, you can't be so accessible. Even though you are trying to pretty much reach out to people and connect, you can't be so accessible. You can't be like, yeah, okay, call me. Okay, yeah, I'll. And so I've learned to use like Calendly to like, hey, set up your time with me. Because if I don't know about it, I'm not gonna. Because now when I wake up, when I go to sleep, I know what I have for my day. We're like, okay, if I can use this time in the morning, then if I do have an impromptu, somebody
Right.
calls me and texts me, say, yeah, I can say, okay, call me right here before this time, rather than somebody call me, hey, we had a meeting, we did, you know. So, and then when it comes with projects, I have to always keep everything at the same level, because if I just lead onto one thing, everything else kind of fall behind. So, man, that's with my network. So it's like if I pay too much attention to one thing, it falls behind. So you have to know, and that's when automation come in. So how can something be automated to where now
Mm-hmm.
we can move away from it
Yeah.
for a little more? If something kind of goes wrong on this side, I don't have to worry about that over there falling.
Yep.
So I didn't know that you called it chunking time, but now I do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
Yep.
what I'm
Gotcha.
calling
And
it.
I don't have any notifications on my phone.
Oh, see, I don't
Time.
know how you
Yeah.
operate. I don't know how you operate, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, so all of those Facebook notifications and social media notifications, like, no, I don't get any of them, because what
Yeah.
that does is it always allows somebody else to control your time.
Not
Instead,
necessarily.
I mean, think about it though. So if your cell phone is always on your person somewhere, and for 90% of people, it is. And so let's say that you are on 2 different social media platforms and you're getting notification. Every time you get that notification and you stop and look at it, you're now less productive, because you got to go back, you got to refocus on what you were doing. And so with chunking time, you're saying, I'm going to dedicate my time to this. I'm going to let everything else sit on the wayside. And then, like, I go check social media twice a day.
Certain amount of
I'm not
time.
going to sit on social media all day.
Can I say something about that? And this is probably gonna open up a can of worms.
No
That
problem.
is the that is the reason why I believe that we get deemed with worse and bad customer service. And this is the reason why. It's because just because my phone been going off this whole time,
Mhm.
but my attention is here. I've dedicated my time to this
Hmm.
interview. So when I can dedicate my time, it's what is it? It's not it's a word. I'm
Right.
sorry. You have I forgot. You basically I'm sorry to say, but
No.
if I can be doing some work and my stuff is going off, I can know that if it's a fire, I'll get to it right now because if I let it creep up, then I got a bigger thing on my hands. Social media, I use social media. Social media don't use me, and that's coming from a 29-year-old. I think a lot of people are so glued to their phones and trying to answer everything. But like, there's people that will comment, text, this, that, and the third message, and if it's like if I don't deem that message important to me and what's going on, then
Yeah.
I'm not going to answer it. But I at least want to know what's coming in to be like, okay, I remember this, and I can go because as an
Okay.
entrepreneur, as
I
an
like.
entrepreneur. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I was gonna say I like your analogy because my question to you would be: so what? Who gets to determine whether it's a fire that needs to be put out? And
Oh, this.
when so many people have heightened anxieties, so even if it isn't a fire in your mind, they've now disturbed you, and you got to get recentered. So
The
there's
verbiage.
just ways that you can do things that I can be fully present here, and something that might take me 3 hours to do if I'm allowing all of these notifications, these dings, these text messages, these all of that. If I focus without distraction, I can now cut that down to 45 minutes. That's science. That's
Uh,
high performance.
but it's you do you have the ability to just put that to the side? See, fires for me is verbiage. What are you
Okay.
saying in those first two sentences? Because I don't leave my notifications say I message or I let all my notifications come in. And if your sentence ain't the first two words, sentences isn't important. If it's like, hey, I was just asking, or hey, I was inquiring. Those are important because people are interested, but are they important for me to stop what I'm doing? But you have those certain people comments, kind of like within your team. You have me, him, like may have
Yeah.
messaged you or something like that. But if your team message you, you know that it's a serious situation. So it's like knowing of having that, you know, determination to get it done, but also allowing people to connect with you to where now, if I was to decide to take a break, I can answer those little notifications. I maximize my time, and I realize the reason I do that is because I realize that the one thing that we all have is 24 hours a day. And that's the rich, that's the poor, that's the 1%, the 99%, the black, the white, Hispanic, whatever you
Right.
break it
Right.
down, you cannot get time back. So if I move everything to the side, and I'm not realizing that when you said heightened anxiety, that you don't know what's behind that message sometimes. You don't know what's behind it. So if it comes in and I've been praying and hoping for an investor or praying and hoping for this
Right.
business partner or whatever it may have you, and it comes in at 2 o'clock p.m., but I just started the project at 1:30 and I need 3 hours, then I need to be able to maneuver, pivot and maneuver, take care of this right here, come right back. And that's it just I got 24 hours a day. So if I'm eating lunch, I'm I'm coding. If I'm only time that you give my undivided attention, you set a meeting, and that's it. You want that
Mm,
undivided, set that meeting up,
okay.
and that tells you if they're important or not too. You send them that calendar link. People that are important are action driven. If they don't set that meeting up, then they're not important. I'm not trying to be funny because if they really want your time, it's not about sending the email and then
Right.
it's like having a job. They teach you if you want that job, what you do, apply and then call and then call and then email. You get what I'm saying? So if they not on that, they not serious. If they're just, oh, I'm inquiring about, or I'm
Hmm.
just asking about, or no, you will know when people are serious and you know what's really a fire.
Okay.
I love you, Miss Tina. Have a hug.
Yes. Yeah. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
no. I.
Right. Any
I
any
mean,
rebuttal?
we are going to have to agree to disagree on this one because like
It's how we
I
operate.
yeah, and it's okay, but like
Disagree.
I
Yeah.
just know that for me and for everything that I've
Yeah.
studied and helping people achieve high performance is when you take your freedom back of understanding and knowing where your attention goes, you have hit pay dirt because just like Ronald just said, you don't everybody only has 24 hours a day, and by giving people an inch every time you divert even if it's just for a second, you are losing momentum. And now I'm going to get a little bit more spiritual because I believe in consciousness and this, that, and the other. I believe that when you are more focused, you are bringing your divine gifts to the center. And so you can't do that when you're constantly going, okay, I'm gonna juggle this, I'm gonna juggle that. And I used to be a juggler. I used to think that I was a taskmaster, and I learned that sometimes I was actually being my own worst enemy. So
Can I
that's
say
just,
something?
yeah, I'm just, yeah, you can say whatever you
So
like. And I'm gonna
the,
leave it alone after that
the
though,
Gemini,
because
the Gemini in me,
Yeah.
the other part of me feels that you are absolutely correct. Like, I do, I do notice that whenever you were talking, I said, when those are times when I'm getting momentum, that I actually turn my phone over. So it's like my grandfather always told me, if it's important, they'll call.
mm-hmm.
So I'll turn my phone over, so all those notifications are coming in, but you will know
Mm-hmm.
if it's important, it's a call. So my phone will be down, it's down. You hear it buzz, but music is going off. So that
Yep.
buzz is just my music is going off, so it keeps away that buzz. So you want my attention, it's gonna call. And so that message too, it's like, so when I see that message, it's like, and something like that. But whenever I'm focused here, that phone is on to the right side and it's down and the music is going. So I do know what you're talking about. If I just keep seeing it up, it's like, looking, and you're like, what they're talking about. And I've seen myself get took back and having to jump start again. It's kind of like back when I was an admin assistant. Every time I'm getting started, my boss, hey, and would you leave me alone? Just leave me alone. Like, you asked me to do something, I'm trying to do it, but I don't like the fact I gotta get up. Then now I gotta get up. I gotta go to the restroom. Now I'm mad at my bladder.
Right.
So it's like, and by the time you turn around, it's 2 o'clock, and you really haven't got nothing done because you've been trying to get something done, trying to pivot. So I understand where you're coming from too.
Yeah. 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 You know how an
Mm.
athlete gets into the zone?
Right.
You
They
know,
shut
we
everything
Right.
off.
Right.
we can get into the zone too.
Mhm.
And like, I mean, think about, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, like when he
Right.
dropped 80, right? He was in a zone. And like, think about when athletes are in a zone, how a lot of times when they go back to the bench,
Mm-hmm.
they don't even sit around everybody else. They kind of sit down to the end because they want to stay in that energy that they're in. And that takes focus. It takes focus.
You're
It
absolutely
takes
right.
such a
Mm.
subtle focus. But us as creative, just because we're not athletic, don't mean that we can't hit a zone.
But we still gotta find a way to juggle on this podcast. That's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I hear
We
you.
still gotta find
Right.
a way,
Right.
just a
Yeah.
little bit, to know what's going on around us, because as an entrepreneur, until you make it to that point where you can like hire a manager, and I'm not at that point. Probably that's probably why I'm speaking that. I know that you have a lot of people under you, but if I don't have a manager, then I have to be a manager, my social media marketer, my accountant, my own assistant, and my own chef. And I still got to eat. And I'm a
Right.
big
Right.
dude. I'm an eater. If I
You got
miss
to
that
juggle
meal,
all of
y'all gonna have to shut it down.
Okay, so just give me this then. So for the first hour of your day
that.
after you wake up, do not check social media, don't check emails, don't check anything, and really take that time to get yourself in a zone. And then text me in 7 days after you've done it and tell me if you are not more productive. Or like, most of the time, especially even with my clients, when I challenge them with this one little thing, they come back and they say, oh my God, I got more done in this last week than I think I've gotten done in 3 months. It's just something to it. So even if you just do it for 1 hour and let it be your first hour, don't look at anything. Just go, like, whatever creative endeavor you're doing, like, let that be your creative time and just focus on that one thing. And then tell me what happens. Text me. Tell me.
I actually do it, but reverse.
Okay.
I
Hmm.
actually do it like at nighttime. Whenever for some reason I love like nighttime. The music is chill.
Mm-hmm.
Luther Vandross come on.
Mm-hmm.
It just puts you in the zone, and
Okay.
I'm just so I know exactly what you're talking about, because I go in the zone at a certain time. No meetings is straight. and it's lovely. It's
Hmm.
like you don't want to go to sleep. But in the morning I do see it myself waking up,
Yep.
checking social media, you know, going
And
out.
yep. And think about it. If somebody had, we all like when I started out working a job, like you punch, your alarm clock go off and you're hurried. Your day is hurried, right? Like because now you're just hurrying along. Let me make something to eat. Let me pack my lunch. Let me whatever your version is. But when you take and you change that around and you take command of your first hour of your day and let it be just yours, it changes how you face the world. And so I know you say you're going to do it at the end of the day, and so I'm going to let you have that.
No, no, I'm gonna do
But
it in the beginning. I'm gonna do it in the
but it
beginning.
but think about it like there's so much, especially us as Black people, somebody's always been able to control our narrative. And if you go into the world centered into your zone and in your power, we can change how people have been controlling us, period.
I love you,
I love you too.
Mm, mm.
man. But I think that's what, and you know what's crazy when you're speaking about
Oh
controlling
man.
the narrative. Now we off
Go ahead,
subject.
Ron.
Now, when you
I
talk about
know.
controlling the narrative, um, that's when it comes back to like basically where my company comes from. I feel like we've let other things control how we operate. You know, how we do business, how we look at business, how we are supposed to, do our lives, how we supposed to live our lives. How we don't really have control. We don't feel like we have control, and it causes us to actually, okay, you have to wake up. You got to do this. You got to do this. And I think what happened with me,
Yeah.
it's a problem when you're trying to do something. You can't have everybody be your mentor. You
Mm-mm.
can't have everybody be that ear because they will do things that works for them and put it out on you. And I think you have to learn how to take all these different philosophies of people, and if it works for who you are as a person, put it together. Because I know exactly what you're saying. You get up and you can actually have something on social media control your narrative. Somebody
Yeah.
say something, and it got to be something like if you can be tired and you burnt out, but somebody say if you if you're not up 3 o'clock in the morning working and you're not an entrepreneur and you're now feeling like, oh man, if I'm not up at 3, but you don't realize that person got insomnia. They just up at 3 because they can't go to sleep. They didn't
Right.
wake up. They
That
just up, and you're not
that
realizing
got the
that.
control.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now they control it, thinking that that's what an entrepreneur is. And I caught myself doing it. It's like now you don't have days off, and you have,
Yep. Yeah, I
stuff.
agree with you. Yep. It's just about taking a little bit of our power back in
Hmm.
everything we do. And the first way of doing that is being able to really control your mind and being centered into who you are and being able to go, well, wait a minute, just like you just said. I mean, like there's so many different things that we all do and we're all going to do differently. And one of the things I make sure I tell people when I'm talking, I go, hey, listen, I can't really speak on their perspective. There's a lot of people out there, on the speaking circuit, Black women even too,
Mm.
who don't have children. I have kids, grandkids. I was taking care of my elderly parents. All of those kind of things. So the way I do something is not going to be the way that they're going to do it when the only person that they have is them. That's a different mindset. So I agree with you. I definitely agree.
Uh-huh.
Definitely agree.
So I had a question as a discussion. What if social media disappeared? How would you how do you think you would control the narrative then?
My phone. There is nothing like
Yeah.
connecting to somebody on the telephone. Your voice is your power.
Ooh.
So pick up the phone. Pick up the
Crazy
phone.
crazy part about it, like my brand doesn't necessarily work just off of social media. What I did was I pretty much created a network by actually adding people, phone number, and so
Mm.
by having a rapport with them. I think social media doesn't give you a rapport like a real life rapport. Like I vouch for that person. So if it's like about someone's company, you be like, hey, I know someone.
Right.
Let me call them. You don't say here's their Instagram, here's their Facebook, because if the minute you give somebody on Instagram and Facebook, that literally denounces the connection you have with them, you know. And so if you take away social media, I think a lot of people will fall. That's where the market gonna crash. If you really want to be honest, people's market is gonna crash when social media was to go down. But if you built a brand, yeah, I'm saying in this posse, if you built a brand off of real rapport, then you'll have those numbers and you'll still be able to do business.
Well, if you just take the word brand out of it, I'm going to agree with you 100%
Okay,
because
if you was to have a business built
rapport.
off of rapport,
Yes. You just took the word brand out of it, and I'm all
replace
for
brand with what?
it.
yeah, I think deep down inside, I think people, social media is a crutch for a lot of people. It is something that they believe that they have to have when there's billions of companies that have made it, and now they don't necessarily need social media. I had a friend talk to me because it was a guy had called me, and this is just a personal story, so I want to enlighten you guys and people listening. But there was a young man that called me, and he has like 10, 15,000 followers on Instagram. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna look at your Instagram followers. And I got like 1,400. But I didn't use any hashtags or everything was authentically built. So all those people that when they like and comment my picture, those are real people. And so he was like, yeah, man, I need to get your Instagram followers up. I don't want to talk to you until you get those up. I said, well, sir, I'm working on my business itself. I think that, you work on the business itself. You don't really worry about social media. He said, well, social media is everything. I said, okay, you got Netflix? He said, yeah, man, I watch Netflix all the time. I said, do you follow them on social media? And he got quiet. I said, let's show you something. They built something. You don't follow them on social. You think of the major brands that you use every day. You don't follow Amazon. You don't follow Netflix. You don't follow Hulu. You don't follow Facebook, Instagram. You don't follow none of those things that you use on a daily for your business. However, social media is important. Them followers don't equal up to themselves. And so I told him, I said, I am more focused.
So you saying that goes to Brandon?
With Miss Potts on the line, yeah, it goes to Brandon.
Well,
yeah.
actually, you just proved my point. Because most people, because you have everybody who wants to be an influencer right now, right? And
yes.
that is something that's working for them. But they had to build all of these followers first before they got the paycheck. I'm saying you can start today. You know what? Like if I'm going to build a rapport with you, like we're doing right now in video, right? Like we're having just a conversation between three people, right? Like we're building a rapport right here, right now. People that are watching us are building a rapport right here, right now. It doesn't matter whether there are 100 or if there are 1,000. Anybody that watches this, they're going to see or hear something that they resonate with either one of the three of us. That relationship has started right then and there. I don't, so I don't have a lot of followers on Instagram. I refuse to do like I know because I've been behind the scenes, so I know what happens. I know how all of the tactics, how they build, but I'm also an algorithm girl, and I want people to see my message who really want to see it. I don't need to cast a wide net in order to catch fish. I fly fish. So basically, I know that if you resonate with my message, and somebody who's connected to you happens to see because you clicked, then now somebody in your news feed might actually see my post, and then they're going to resonate too. So I don't need a wide net in order to build my own personal audience. I don't need that.
Yeah, I truly agree with all. That's why, like, when people talk about my company and stuff, by being a streaming network that does so much things, I said, people can love you now with those hashtags, but then hate you tomorrow. And it's like the algorithm, all that stuff just doesn't work for what you're trying to do. I want to build a foundation that's built off people that really want to hear my message and really want to see me grow. And I can't do that with people that don't necessarily know me or know my message. They're just liking and keep going. And so I'm definitely not with the whole throwing out a huge net. I completely agree with you on that. And I feel like anybody that's thinking that, followers on Instagram and Facebook is the key to success, it's not. Because there are people that got way more followers than Netflix, but their bank account does not resonate more than them. So
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
and even though I say this too, because I agree with you 100%, I do have over 1 million direct to camera video views, just like we're doing right now. And it is because I've taken the approach of I don't need to, I just
Mm,
allow the algorithm to work for me
mhm,
because it's going to connect with somebody when they watch it, when they interact with it. Because remember, it's not always about likes and it's not about likes and comments all of the time when it comes down to video. It's also about the duration that people watch. And if you come back to that video multiple times. So let's say somebody comes
yeah.
back to this video multiple times. If it's on Facebook, then it's going to be more likely to be shared with people that they are connected to without them even sharing, just because they came back to it several times. That's what I want working for me. When you start from a false premise,
Mm,
you lose part of that, and we don't need to
mhm.
do
right.
that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I feel like we said a lot of the same things. We just what was the word you said before? The
Lingo.
lingo. Yes, ma'am. We say the same thing, just the lingo of how we look at it, our perceptions are
Lingo.
different. Our perceptions of the same mission is we have the same mission and same
Yeah.
vision, but the perception of it is different.
Yep.
Just different, just different ways to go about it. Yeah.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Yep. So let me ask you this: how often do you guys test and experiment with any type of new
Every day.
technologies and strategies?
Yeah, that's an everyday thing.
Every
Um,
day.
you have to gauge what the market. You have to still know what the market likes. The last thing you want is to just feel like the market wants something today. Tomorrow is something totally different, and we all see that. And that's why I tell people stop, stop with these darn sayings on
Mm,
these T-shirts.
yes.
Stop, man. Like, God, dog, they put a quick saying or a picture on a T-shirt, and before you even get to your house to take pictures on it, they are moved on to the next. So, I'm,
Yep.
stop, stop,
Yep.
please. Like the market is continuously moving. It's all about how strong
Gotcha. Gotcha.
is your your business to pretty much go with the
Change.
times. Kind of like a music artist. There's music artists that actually work with the times. Um, you have to be a music artist. To be honest with you, your company
Mm-hmm.
has to resemble a music artist.
Yep. Reinvent yourself all the time. Just keep,
Mhm.
it's
Gotcha.
evolution. It's the person who stays stagnant and stays stuck and think that things are supposed to stay the same. That's the person that's going to struggle. If you realize that things are evolving and they're evolving at a more rapid rate, um, then you tend to do a lot better. I mean, think about it. In our parents and grandparents' time, the time between the invention of the radio to the invention of the television, I don't know, maybe a span of maybe 40 years, right? And then when the computer came in, it came in, but now you have an update that's happening almost every 3 months.
Mhm.
Somebody's finding a way to do it better. So if you get stuck in the old way, like there's people right now who still believe that television is the best way to advertise. And I mean, think about it. How many people are actually watching the commercials? Not that many. And I mean, and if you look at all of the
Yeah.
networks that
Exactly.
were built that way, now look what they do. They now, because they didn't think about this in the beginning, but they did after on demand came in. They started having to put their commercials in the on demand and they locked the ability to fast forward, right? That's because of evolution. It isn't something that they wanted to do. When you look at
Mm-hmm.
Blockbuster, you use the analogy of Netflix. Blockbuster never, they did not change with the times. And look what happened. They went out of business. They thought Netflix was a fad. They thought
Right.
streaming was a fad. They're not here.
Oh my God! I own a TV network, ma'am.
That was one of the that was one of the things I was mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me go ahead and get back to business then. I
That was one of the things I was
didn't
mentioning
want to do
earlier
this.
about them when I
I
was
didn't
talking
want to
about
do this.
e-commerce.
I didn't want to do this,
He
but I
didn't
have to
want.
break.
Go
I have to break
ahead,
down the
Ron.
reason why I'm more different because you spoke about that putting their commercials on TV is the new thing. Okay, I mean it's the old thing. I'm sorry. So
Mhm,
everybody's going to uh, on-demand streaming services, right?
mhm, mhm.
At the end of the day, television is going to always, especially depends on how you do it, it's going to still be there. This is the reason why. You pay $6.99, $7.99 for for Netflix, for Hulu, for Sling, for all these different on demand streaming services. After a while, you like, man, I don't even watch this stuff. What happens when the smaller fish try to do those on demand streaming services? There are so many people that go out and get a streaming service, an on demand streaming service, lock it down and say you're not watching nothing until you pay this monthly fee, right? So they'll basically give it for free. Nobody likes the content because everybody's so quick to binge watch. And then next thing you know, you don't make no money. So on the business side is actually the everybody got to stop trying to be Netflix and realize that they're already moving to something else. The thing is with me is that I created my network. I own a network of TV channels. I own a complete network of TV channels. So instead of trying to basically go create original content all the time, I realized that there's something that everybody's going to always want, and that's to be on TV to say what they got to say. At the
Agree.
end of the day, somebody got a message, somebody got a podcast, somebody got a show, and it's going to forever keep going. There's people that come up and there's people that fall. And what I do as a business, come on in for free. Let's figure out if you got what it takes to be a star. Because think of what American Idol did. Everybody want to be a star. So you think you can dance, all those different things. So what the kickback do is say, all right, then cool. We'll give you your space. What you gonna do with it? You know,
Televi- Television has evolved drastically. I mean,
I'm
did any
online though.
did anybody ever think they would see the day where Comcast would be offering Netflix? Why? Because people begin to cut the cable cord.
And that's
This,
what I'm saying. I
yeah,
don't charge Miss
yeah,
Potts. That's the thing. Mine is all strictly online. So
yeah.
say
So
if you
it's
wanted to,
changing. I mean, people are still consuming video content and will. And that's the thing that's going to increase. I mean, Facebook has even said,
Yeah.
not in this last their state of the whatever, but in the one before that, they said in 5 years they expected your news feed to be completely video without
yes,
any words being typed. And
yes.
and that I believe
Video.
is definitely
Yes.
true. I'm talking about traditional
Yes.
television.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Traditional
like yeah,
television,
nobody
right,
necessarily wants to pay $200-300 when they say you got 500 channels, but really you got 125
right.
three times.
Right.
You know,
Remember radio broadcasting, the regulations to have a radio station, and now you have podcasting that everybody has an app on their phone to be
hmm
able to hear that audio. So for all of those who did not
Mm-hmm.
adapt, they have fell down. They do not no longer exist
and
because there is different technology and it is going to keep evolving.
and guess what though? Guess who's gonna be
Mm.
in the forefront all the time whenever somebody got a new podcast?
Who?
Me.
You? Okay.
My radio station consists of music and podcasts. My TV
Yeah.
station consists of independent filmmakers and directors and shows. So it's
Hmm.
gonna always have content because when you said Facebook, they still gonna have those users create that content. You
Hmm.
still gotta have it. So the thing is that when it comes to that feed, you're dealing with algorithms, and you're
Right.
dealing with you have to you have to catch somebody's attention. So when they see that video, if you're not talking about something, if you're not the person that has that clout to where they know you're bringing that power, now it's like to a point. Now you get a time slot. What can you do with that time slot and go? Then we'll
Right.
tell you, okay, this is what happened. This is what's going on. These are the people that advertise.
Mm.
And so the combination of that and e-commerce is what we do. So check
Wow.
us out.
Yeah.
Check
Like,
us out.
I mean, think about what YouTube did. YouTube created YouTube TV. Why? Because everybody cut their, people
Mm-hmm.
who are diehard YouTube users, right, are watching all of their content on YouTube. But there was one thing that they weren't getting that they wanted, and that was their news channels. They still wanted them. So YouTube created YouTube TV, so that you could still get all of your news channels. So all of the big networks, CBS, whatever, all of them, not only do they have, upload video to YouTube, but now they have their channel on YouTube TV. It is
Yeah,
evolving, and it will continue to evolve.
it is evolving, but the thing is, it's all about who's moving with those times too.
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
moving with those times.
Yeah.
I love you.
This was such a great conversation. I'm glad you allowed me to pick with you about
Yeah, me
branding.
too.
Thank
Me
you.
too. I'm not gonna lie to you. You come across so many conversations that are complacent and pretty much talking about the same thing, but I love healthy conversations.
Yeah. And I
Help.
love that you were, we were both willing to have our own side and not take it personal. Like,
Mhm.
we had a really good adult conversation, and people can just
Yeah,
resonate with
definitely.
whichever version they want to resonate with. So I enjoyed it.
Yep, yep, yep. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Give me two traits you think an entrepreneur should have.
Mm.
Two traits
Go
between
ahead.
the both of you.
Go ahead, Miss Potts.
Okay, two.
For instance, resourcefulness. For instance, resourcefulness or
Okay, so I'm
always
going to use
learning.
that one. Let's use that one first.
What are your two?
Resourcefulness. I say all of the time
All right.
to,
Okay.
in my videos or whatever, if you haven't achieved 6 figures in your business, you are not being resourceful. There are things out there that can help you generate that income.
Okay.
And evidently, which is going to bring me to number 2 trait, is be open and willing to change. Just like we were just talking about evolution. You don't have to be right. Always be a seeker. As a matter of fact, instead of always wanting to be right, go prove yourself wrong. Because if you're willing to go prove yourself wrong, you will find so many things that are out there that will help you that you don't know about. And so that's going to be my 2. Yeah. Be open to change.
For me, it's love, and
Okay.
I say love because
Gotcha.
as an entrepreneur, if you got to understand, if you probably ain't gonna make no money the first 6 months, maybe 10 months. You probably want to turn in, and that's not even profit. I just said make money. And so you got to be able to do it out of love. If you're looking to do it because somebody else is doing it, or
Right.
you believe, I believe in myself. Hey, man, I believe I can fly. So at the end of the day, am I with wings? No, I can't, but I can get on the plane. But at the end of the day, people got to realize that if you're not doing it out of love, you're not going to be successful, because love makes you do things without having anything in return. Sometimes, you can love somebody without getting love in return at times. And the other thing would just be,
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily a word, but it's knowing that you're ignorant in things so you can go get the knowledge. I think a lot of business owners feel like they may read one book or they may listen to one podcast and they'll get information from one side, but they need to realize that they are it's okay to be ignorant in a lot of things, and just don't be ignorant in everything, but understand that it's okay to be ignorant till now you know what you fail at and your weaknesses is, so you can go now build that. And that's what I think a lot of people need to realize when it comes to being an entrepreneur is knowing your weaknesses and doing it out of love.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. All right, one more question. But before I ask that last question, Tina, you had something. I was looking on your social media, and you mentioned something about there's some things, I'm paraphrasing, some things that men do that women aren't doing. Can you expound on that? It was something you mentioned.
So like I have
about that.
I have a video series that is called What Men Know. My client base has shifted a lot, but back then, right before I created it, my clients were middle-aged balding white men. And so then I started working with exclusively women for a while. And and there was glaring differences. And I was able to take and put it into 8 things that women didn't do. One of them was this branding conversation, changing how it looks 10 times, but not making sure that it has lead generation. Number 2, not knowing your analytics. You got to know your numbers. Like, I don't care if, like, at some point in time, if you put up an opt-in and you're trying to gather name and email addresses, do you know how much traffic you're getting? Do you know what your conversion rate is? Because then if you know where the system isn't working, you know where to fix it. And most of the time, most people aren't diving deep enough to know what thing. They just keep scrapping things that technically could work, but because they didn't take the time to understand the things along the way, it never happened. So those were the 2 main ones. The other Another big one was not looking professional enough. Most people want to put off this professional air because that's what they've been taught, but right now, in today's time especially, it is better to be approachable than to try to put off a professional air. So it's better for you to just be yourself than to try to just be you.
Be
Just be
you.
you. So
Right.
those are the main ones. Those are the main differences right there. But knowing your numbers is huge. If you don't chart a path to where you're going, and you don't have
Right.
if you're not measuring it, then you're just fighting against the wind. You're fighting against the wind. You're changing things, and some things you don't even need to be changed. I give you an example. Just the other day,
I agree with
I
you.
had somebody from Holland contact me in my inbox on Facebook. And she was like, it's not working. Nobody's buying. She was
Okay.
falling all over herself, and she was changing her price. She was changing it from $97. She was selling an online course. She was changing it from $97, and she was going to change it to $47. And I said, okay, so send me a screenshot of what your dashboard says, because she uses Kajabi, which is a membership site builder and all of that good stuff. So when she sent me the screenshot, I was like, so you do realize that nobody has seen the actual sales price? And she was like, what do you mean? I said, okay, so do you know what this means? So literally, I started walking her through. Right now, there was 70 people who went to the initial page, and only 6 of them signed in, gave their name and email address. And after those 6 gave the name and email address, none of them clicked over to the page that actually saw the price. So she was already changing her price when nobody had seen it. So instead, I said, well, wait a minute. We got to go back and see where the first and foremost, once 6 people give you their information, you now have leads that you can continue to sell to. So even if they don't buy right then and there, you can still have that conversation and build that rapport, right? So that you can continue to sell them. But she had nothing in that space. Then it was like, okay, so now let's go back and see how you had all of those people who showed up at that page, but only 6 of them got. So then we needed to look at that page. But she wouldn't have known that because she just jumped to the conclusion that it was the price. That's lack. That is having a scarcity mindset. That is a worth issue. That's a worth issue. That is like, I'm not worthy of $97. So this is the reason why they're not paying it. When you instantly jump to price, that's what that is almost every single time.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Cool. So, last, both of you, if someone was thinking about starting a business or getting into entrepreneurship, what advice would you give them?
I like what Ronald said. Love it.
Can I give an exercise real quick? Okay. So when people ask me that question, I say, write 10 things you love to do, want to do,
Yeah.
always want to do, right? Then I say, out of that 10, choose 5 that you would do for, free. It was like, okay, you'll do it for 6 months for free. Then out of those 5, pick 3 and name them in order that you would do for free, but you are stuck on this island called poverty. What is going to get you off that island? That's what they do. And what it does is that exercise clears up exactly all the little, oh, you know what? I always wanted to own my own band. I love baking. Maybe I should just start a grass cutting business. Oh, I'm going to sell watches, eyelashes, courses. All those different things that people want to do. I said, okay, what would you do out of those 10 million things? Write down the 10. What would be the 5 you would do for free? Out of those 5 you would do for free, what's going to get you out of poverty? Or what's going to get you out of that over the hump that you're in? Even if you're middle class, what's going to get you into upper middle class? What's going to get you to the next level? What would number them? Number them. What's going to get you off of that island?
I like that.
And the minute you hit those 3,
I like that.
Now you clear up. Now you can wake up and say, it says baking, helping people, nonprofit. Guess what I'll do? Combine all 3 of them. I'm gonna help people with my nonprofit by actually creating a baking where kids come in and learn to bake. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you do. And so now you have a business that you're focused on, that you will do for 6 months for free, and you love it. And somehow you can see that by me putting in this work, I can see the future and actually is going to bring in revenue and profit for me to basically get out of the life I live. So that's what I'll tell entrepreneurs every time.
Okay. Gotcha, man. Well, Tina and Ronald, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for doing this podcast.
Thank you for having
with me.
Let me get
Tina,
your website. Let me get your website, Tina, because I'm gonna have to reach out to you. I won't be having no not reaching out to you after this. So, there it is, Tina. Okay.
Yep, just my name. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, and the new site
Tina
actually.
Brinkley Potts. Can anybody reach any of y'all on social media?
Everyone on every platform. Yep.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited because we launched my new site this week.
Ron, any social media? I don't like to do the social media because people ain't writing it down. Cool. Just go to the kickbackmedia.com. You'll find all my social media and everything like that. That's really what you need to look at is my platform. You know? All right, man. Gotcha. All right. I appreciate it once again. And I learned a lot, and hopefully a lot of people who get into entrepreneurship has learned something as well. I appreciate it. All right. Thank y'all. Bye. All right. You too. Y'all take care. All right. All right, man. That was a good conversation, man. It was a real good conversation. I hope you guys learned too. I know I learned some things as well. And I'm gonna be reaching back out to them soon. I got some ideas as they were talking. Some ideas was coming to me as well. So again, ladies and gentlemen, you are rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week podcast, and the one coming on at 8:30. Got a couple of more entrepreneurs today or tonight, and it should be another good one, man. I appreciate it. Again, to Tina Potts and Ronald Osbourne, man. I appreciate y'all again. And like I said, you're rocking with the best Thoughts of the Week. Out. Peace.